Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla and in this video I'm going to be sharing some non-traditional money tips. Some of these tips are going to be completely irrelevant in your life because you are already in that situation or it's already happened in your life. And just a reminder as we go into this that these are just tips and suggestions. These are just me voicing my thoughts on these things. And if you find offense to them, I really hope you don't. I don't want anybody to feel offended by my content, but I know that some of these things that I'm going to talk about are sensitive subjects or things that a lot of people have different opinions on, and that is completely okay. We all have our different opinions, but these are just literal tips. It doesn't have to mean anything more than that, and I'm going to kind of explain each of them as I go. I'm also going to try to keep each portion as short as possible because y'all know I'm a talker. I can easily talk about each of these for much longer, so if you want me to, I can expand on some of these topics, but I'm going to try to keep everything short and sweet for this video. And before I get into the tips, I do want to give a huge thank you to Mint Mobile for partnering with me for this video. If you've been looking for ways to save some money, a great place to start would be your phone plan. And Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as low as $15 per month, and they still have the promotion going on, which I will talk about in just a moment. But if you are looking for a phone plan with unlimited talk and text, high quality speed, data, and coverage, access to 5G, access to mobile hotspot, you want to keep your same phone, and you want to keep your same phone number, then definitely consider switching over to Mint Mobile. Making the switch is also super easy. Visit mintmobile.com/debtoverit. I also have that link down below in my description box. From there, you can enter in a little bit of information about yourself, including your location to see how coverage is in your area. From there, you can also determine if your phone is eSIM compatible. And if your phone is eSIM compatible, you'll be able to set things up right there within a few minutes, right from the comfort of your home. If your phone is not eSIM compatible, that is no problem. Mint Mobile will ship a SIM card to you. You'll get it in a couple of days. There's no extra charge with that. And then same thing, you can set everything up on your own right from the comfort of your home. I've been using Mint Mobile for over 2 years now, and I am so grateful to be able to save on my monthly phone plan without sacrificing high quality speed and coverage, because that is very important to me. And real quickly, I want to call out that I live in Georgia, but for the last few weeks, I've been staying in Florida. And the whole time I've been here, I haven't turned Wi-Fi on my phone. I've just been using Mint Mobile service, and that's here at the Airbnb. There's been no problem. Actually, our Wi-Fi went out at one point while we were here, and for my laptop, I used the hotspot through Mint Mobile. I had a whole Zoom call. I was using LinkedIn and everything that I use, and the service was perfectly good. So I just wanted to mention that because I do get a lot of questions of like, oh, how's the service where you live and when you traveled? 9 times out of 10, it works really, really well. So again, if you are interested in saving a little bit of money without the sacrifice, visit mintmobile.com/debtoverit. That's also linked down below in my description box. And you can get premium wireless for just $15 per month when you purchase any 3-month plan. And this even includes their unlimited plan, which is typically $30 per month. Thank you again to Mint Mobile for partnering with me on this video. And now let's talk about these non-traditional finance tips. First thing, your significant other matters when it comes to your finances. So this could be your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your partner, your spouse, life partner, whatever the situation is, whoever that is, they are very important when it comes to your finances because they're gonna be one of the most influential people in your life. And if you have somebody who is financially irresponsible, that is going to affect your finances. That's going to affect your behavior, your habits. And you may be one person today, but a couple of years from now, things might look drastically different because you had a huge influence from somebody who was not managing their finances well. Personally, I think finances are something that should be discussed early on in a relationship. And I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with that. And it doesn't need to be like, oh, how much do you make? How much? I don't know. It doesn't need to be too personal, but it's something that should be brought up. And personally, a red flag for me in a significant other, I've been in a long-term relationship, but I would say for me, a red flag is if I were to ask about their finances or how they handle finances and they were not interested in talking about it. It was something they didn't feel comfortable with. To me, that's like a deal breaker. And then obviously it's even more important if you are about to actually marry this person, like finances need to be on the table. Finance is a huge cause for divorce, especially here in the States. And I feel the more that you talk about it and if you get on the same page about things, the less likely it is for that to happen. Second thing, do what you want to do, not what society or what your parents want you to do. As you get older, there's a lot of pressure from society and from your family to pursue certain things. So a lot of 18-year-olds go to college and choose a major because their parents want them to do that, even though it's not something that they want to do. That's also something that society teaches you to do. You know, you gotta, especially back in the day, it's like you go to college, you get a good job, that's your life, you know? There was always that pressure to do that. Similar with like buying a house and starting a family. Like, you don't have to buy a house just because it's normal for a 30-something-year-old to have a house, or because your parents had a house at that age, or because everybody else is doing it. Like, you don't need to. There's some people who don't even want to own a home. Home ownership is very expensive. It's a scary thing. It's a big step in life. And you want to be sure that you want that house, that you want that commitment, because a lot of expenses come from it, and it can set people backwards. You know, if you go into a house because you feel like you were rushed into it, this is what was expected of you, but then you realize like, oh, there's all this maintenance that I need to do, or overall it could have just been a huge financial mistake for you to purchase that house because you weren't ready, and now you are tied down to this house. And I think that can be easily prevented by doing what you want to do. Like, truly think about that and don't let others influence that from the outside. Number 3, don't have children. So this is what I was talking about, where some people may feel offended by this, but this is not meant to offend anybody. Children are expensive. Obviously, there's ways to make it cheaper, but no matter what, it's going to be an extra expense. Like, you are taking care of a whole nother being, and that's just one child. You know, there's some people who have 2, 3, so on and so forth. And that really adds up. I think in a lifetime, it costs people, parents, over $300,000 to care for a child, and that doesn't cover like educational expenses. And of course, there's different situations. Like, there's some people who could probably raise a child on half of that, or even a quarter of that, you know. But no matter what, it is going to be an additional expense. Now, can you achieve financial independence and get where you want to with your finances with children? Yes, absolutely. But just know that having children is a large expense, and it is going to slow down your journey to financial independence, and it just costs more in everything. Like, if you want to travel, it's going to be more. When you go grocery shopping, more expensive. Going shopping for clothes, more expensive. Like, everything adds up, and at the end of the day, they are very expensive. So just something to think about. And as somebody who does not want to have children, this is another reminder that it's okay for you to do what you want to do, and you don't need to listen to society or what others are pressuring. So really, the tip is don't have children if you are not absolutely sure that you want to have children, because they are very expensive. I mean, the most important thing is that you even want children. Like, if you want children and you're struggling financially, so be it. That's fine. Like, the money will come, you'll figure it out, but it's going to be more difficult. And the most important thing, if you do have a child, is to be able to take care of them, to love them, to feed them, to clothe them, that sort of thing. And at the end of the day, the money is not the most important, but still just something that should be heavily considered. And I think a lot of people have children when they shouldn't, or they really didn't want to, but they felt like they had to, or it was just like a part of their journey. Going along with that, number 4 is do not have pets, because pets are very expensive as well. There are some people who choose not to have children and they just have pets, but that's also a huge expense. Maybe not as much as children, but it very well could be. Between grooming, feeding them, treats, possible boarding or pet sitting, and then of course any sort of vet visits, especially if they're like big vet visits, pet insurance, all of these things really add up. I had a cat growing up. I've probably easily spent over $10,000 on that cat in his lifetime, which is pretty crazy to think about. And most people have multiple pets every decade or so, you know, like after one passes, they would go on to get another one. And yeah, it's just gonna keep happening, which is fine. I think pets are an amazing companion, but just know that they are very expensive and definitely something to think about before actually getting one. And something I want to squeeze in here too, because it's very important to me, I really advocate for adopting, not shopping. So check out your local shelter if you do want to adopt a cat or a dog. Sometimes they even have pigs or lizards, that sort of thing, if you're into that. But yeah, that saves on expenses right there, because it kills me to see that people buy dogs for like $4,000, and you could literally get like hundreds of dogs from a shelter with that money. And also just like that would help so much for a number of dogs. And something else I want to call out is that if you do decide to get a pet, a cat, dog, whatever it is, please be committed to their whole life. I see a lot at the shelters, people get these dogs as puppies and then they're like, oh, we're moving, or oh, we had a child, oh, they're too expensive, and then they just dump them at the shelter, and it is absolutely heartbreaking. So another thing to consider, not only are they an expense, but they are your family. You know, you are the only people that they know. So if you just dump them somewhere, like, I don't know, it's very, very disturbing and messed up. So please don't do that. Next tip is to stop consuming bad influences. And just in general, I would suggest getting off of social media, or at the very least reducing social media consumption. There are so many people out there on Instagram, on YouTube, on everything, who are just promoting things for you to buy. And those things are not going to help you. 9 times out of 10, those are things that you do not need, and they're just going to be in your junk pile a couple of years from now, you know? And these days, you can literally have the job title of being an influencer, and that's what they do. They are there to influence, and that's all that they do, you know? So they could be buying these clothes, they could be getting these clothes for free and then encouraging y'all to buy them. I see it all the time. I don't watch these YouTubers, but in the past I have seen where they're just doing haul after haul, what they got from Target, what they got some new gym clothes, they got this. And if you purchase those things, then they will often benefit. And of course, it is absolutely okay for you to buy things in your life. That's fine. But the problem comes when you are being influenced to buy these, when it's something you don't need, something you didn't plan for, and then it's coming from all different directions. So you see something on Instagram, you see something on YouTube, you see something on TikTok, and then you're buying all these things. Next thing you know, you've spent hundreds of dollars on crap you don't need. So my suggestion is to stop following those people and start consuming content that actually adds value to your life and helps you to get to where you want to, and then just reducing social media in general. Live your life is what I would say. Next tip is to take care of your health. I would argue that your health is the most important thing in your life, because without it, what else matters? And of course, we can't control everything. Like, there's some things that we are predisposed to, or something could come up in your life that you didn't ask for that. You were taking care of yourself. But there are many things that people can do to prevent certain ailments in life, but they do not. And especially while you're young, it's very easy to take these things for granted. But as you get older, you are going to want to be able to do all of the things that you are doing now. So in order to do that, I would suggest exercising, stretching, making sure you're practicing mobility, eating healthy foods, drinking plenty of water, taking care of your skin, putting on sunscreen, washing your face, like all of these things can really help your health overall. And like I said, you can't prevent everything, but if you take care of your health now and you continue to do this in your lifetime, you will probably save a lot of money, because you won't have to go to the doctor, you won't have to pay for medications. Like, there have been people who have been on medications for years and years, but then they completely shifted their lifestyle, they started eating healthy and exercising, and then they were able to get off of those medications. Or you could prevent having to get a surgery, which would cost thousands of dollars, by switching up your lifestyle. And going along with that, take care of your belongings. So if you have things in your life, like your phone, cameras, laptops, take care of those things. So many people just treat them as disposables, and I hate that. Like, I try to keep my phone for as long as possible, keep my car for as long as possible. Any electronics that I have, I want to make sure I'm taking care of them. So, put a case on them, make sure you put them in spots that they're not going to fall or that you're going to drop them. Get regular maintenance on your car, update your devices. Like, there's so many things that you can do to prevent having to pay more for your electronics and all of your belongings. Same with your clothes. Like, if you have some clothes that you really like, don't always put them in the dryer. It's gonna wear them out quicker. Keeping your things clean and just being mindful of where you place something can really go a long way, and this absolutely will help you to save money, because then you wouldn't have to replace things so frequently. Plus, it helps the environment, the less that goes into landfills, the better. Next tip is to learn to be self-sufficient, and what I mean by this is try doing things on your own every now and then. If the dryer breaks, or if the toilet stops working, the sink, something happens with the sink. You would be surprised how easy it is to fix on your own. Don't freak out. I know some people are just like, oh, that's my time wasted. It's so much easier to just call somebody, have them fix it, and be done with it, which I agree with for certain scenarios. But there have been many times where something has come up in the house and it would have cost hundreds of dollars to have somebody to come out, to pay for the parts, to pay for the labor. But if you just watch a 10-minute YouTube video, buy some parts for like $10, $15, you can do it on your own. And these things are going to happen pretty frequently in life, you know, it's just inevitable. And the better you get at these things, you know, then you'll be like a pro the next time it happens, and you'll save a ton of money throughout your lifetime. I would say going along with being self-sufficient would be things like gardening and homesteading, just learning skills that can help you to save money and live on your own. If, you know, worst case scenario, if you had to grow your own food, do you know how to do that? Do you know what would grow in your area? I think these are things that are at least worth exploring and trying every now and then, because you may surprise yourself. And also, if you can, you know, start your own vegetable garden, your own fruit garden, and have some food to eat for basically free, because all you have to do is plant the seeds, and the upfront cost can be a little bit much, but after that it's kind of just maintaining things, and then you can go pick your veggies for free, and that will save you money as well. And my final tip here would be to build a community. And I feel like this is kind of hard to do. It just depends on where you live and your situation and how willing you are to put yourself out there. But a community can go a long way. So if you need to borrow something, or if you need help with something, you need somebody to watch your pets, watch your children, help you to manage your lawn care, you know, anything goes here. But if you have that community there, that can really help you to save money. You know, y'all can trade things, or just having that support is basically priceless. This is something that I actually really long for, and I feel like this is one of the hardest things on this list that I just presented, because nowadays it's very normal for people to kind of just live in their own world, be in their own bubble, which I completely understand, just the way society has kind of shifted. But I think having a community is such a beautiful thing, and it can help you to save a lot of money, but also just create a better life, I would say. Something that I definitely want to work on, you know, getting to know the neighbors more, and building a community, even if that's extended beyond your neighborhood, you know, like just having a closer knit friend group or family can really go a long way. So that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know if there's anything that you would add to it, and feel free to drop your opinions in the comments as well, or let me know if there's any of these topics that you want me to expand on further. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.